Right, CeX played Cash last time on stream last week, and that's where I mentioned like Newtdog was did a great job like getting the entries in when possible, but they could never capitalise. They got traded very easily in that last matchup, but hopefully this won't be the case, and against Orgles, hopefully we won't see a repeat of what happened last week with Cash.
Yeah, we would hope so. But this is, yeah, I mean, again, this is another important game coming into it. You know, these teams vying for that kind of third place spot, I believe. You know, and after that previous game, maybe even a little bit higher up with Vex ending up getting a second loss on the board. But here we go, straight up B hit going to be coming on through. A little bit of utility expended here and there. Cray still at the back of the site. Imi peeking out at the perfect time. That is so well played from those two players. Distraction, and unfortunately, you know, Imi, he gets a couple of shots in the side of the head. Both CeX players turn towards heaven, and then Cray's able to get the shots in the side of the head. So making it as easy as possible in the end for Orgles, and a very dominant pistol to start us off.
Yeah, around heaven he was playing Mr. Distraction pretty much, wasn't he? And he's done his duty, he's done his job anyway. And that was a very fast pistol round push by CeX going to that big side, but it just didn't help them in any way, shape or form. So we'll have to see what they can change up going into this one here. So Rezu will just push in A main to see what he can find at the moment. But Frey does get a little dink there from one of the players on CeX there, so it's not too bad for him. Adam was maybe hoping to see if anyone would just rush through A main, but that wasn't the case there, so he does pull back a little bit.
Yeah, this is a little bit, normally you would say dicey, with the kind of amount of damage done to Frey's in towards middle, but obviously with the weaker weaponry of CeX, you don't expect all that much. This is kind of the conventional play at the moment. You lose the pistol, you eco, you pull out the rifles a round earlier than we are kind of used to in the meta of CS, although obviously we are going to have to get used to it. But a relatively dominant round again, Orgles, clean anti-eco, earning a fair amount of bank, and they might just go for a bit of a cheeky bonus here, I think, holding on to all of these SMGs. Not so sure about this one, boys. It could be a little bit dicey because there's a fair amount of utility, and obviously the one-tap potential of the AK going to favour CeX a little bit more, so we'll have to see. This could really work out for Orgles, but it could also work against them.
Yeah, you may find that some people might think that it could be a little bit of a greedy play, but I don't think it is. It depends on how they set up and how they position themselves on this map. Adam's in a good spot right now. It's something for anyone to actually run straight through that A main, but that won't be the case. As you can see now, they're trying to get ready to go for that B execute. So I'm going to wait for that smoke to clear to see exactly what's going on, but they're going to find out now. No one's going to be around checkers as of yet, but there is one member in vent, so you can easily just jump straight through and get him from behind. So Jenko's in a really good spot here to really stop CeX coming through. So he's waiting patiently a little bit more, but does go through checkers in the end, but sadly it's not the case. Just that one member left behind right at the far back. Let's get cleaned up, but Newt there, great 2 entry frags there from him, and Krazover just he's backing off just a little bit to see what he can do, but at this stage, 5v2, it's not really too much here, so might just wait until the next round. Yeah,
I mean, this is kind of where that bonus type round does come back to bite you. They've not done anything at all, so I can kind of get on board when maybe you do end up losing the round and then you do a little bit of damage. It makes the next kind of buy up a bit easier for you, and it's almost a blessing in disguise. I think they just run boosted up into heaven there, but you know, it can be a bit of a blessing in disguise type round if Orgles end up winning the subsequent to this. But I don't know, you talk about setting up around the SMGs. Cray was holding a relatively long range angle that obviously an M4 would be much better suited to, so I think it's a bit too cheeky to keep all 5 SMGs, you know what I mean? Like, there should have been maybe a couple rifles here and there. Guy plays forklift, sure, keep him on the MP5. You know, someone wants to push aggressively into middle, great. But if you're holding long-range angles, or relatively long-range angles in towards B, you kind of want an M4 there, especially because Cray was pretty much solo holding B for quite a large portion of that.
Yeah, it makes sense as to why they've done that, which is fair enough. You know, would have saved a lot more bank if they lost some extra rounds after them, but I think if Jenko was able to just wait that little bit longer in vent to go behind, then he would have been a good spot. But of course, only with an SMG, he knew he had to push in at some point, but he was patient, but of course that last person coming from B main just didn't help it. But Imi does get one. Jenko does clean up on the other one anyway, and straight off the bat, nice little 2k there, and only one member left standing. Murky is going to go through check to see if he can get anything done, but it's going to be very unlikely. They've got most of these angles covered. Only one person, which is Adam, just hanging around that A site just to see if anything does happen, which isn't the case. Jenko, nice little clean up there for him, and a quick round there for Orgles.
Yeah. I don't know, CEX. It's a great amount of utility that they've got, and they just don't really use any of it. CT completely unsmoked, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. They just try and go for the disrespect quick hit on B. Not a straight up rush, but, you know, as soon as, I guess, a contact play, we'd call it. And it just doesn't really work out for them. Not quite enough thought going into it. And you can just sort of see here, very early on into this game, crack shown for CEX, miscommunication seems to be quite prevalent. Murky goes in for a bit of a force, whilst everybody else has only gone for the quasi-buys. So it's a bit dangerous. They need to get this out of their system early on, otherwise Orgles are just going to be able to start running away with things.
Yeah, that's right. And now CeX are going to push straight through that site there. Imi does get forward just a little bit. Managed to take out one before he gets taken down there. And Imi does get trade off. Adam gets another one of his own. But Fraser here must get one in the end, and Adam's got two of his own now, and it's only Resi left standing. He's trying to do what he can, but with that Tech 9, there's not going to be too much he can do against the full member of Orgles there. And that lead slowly increasing, but still very early days.
Again, CEX, quasi-buy, you know, sure, Murky accidentally buys the rifle, but you put him to good use. There was the one kind of car smoke, the one flashbang. Not a great deal of use of that utility that they have on the Orgles side of on the CEX side of things to stop Orgles from just easily, you know, retaking control of the A site back. We do see it quite often. CT sides, if they hear a lot of noise over towards A, they will go for that kind of retake setup, as it is quite an easy site to retake, and it just works out really well for Orgles in the end. And CEX very early on in this game so far, Lethal, looking pretty shook.
Yeah, it's definitely seemed the case. They're just playing patiently this time. They've had a lot of quick rounds trying to execute some of these sites, but it looks like they're just waiting for just a little bit more info on exactly what's going to happen. And probably a good thing in that kind of retrospect, because last couple of rounds haven't really been too good for them, but instead they're going to see if they do, you know, have one member just push around to see if they can get additional info and maybe risk losing a man down on that CT side. But very well disciplined here from Orgles, just waiting to see exactly what they can find. But Frey does manage to get smoked off there, but they aren't going to push through anyway. We'll get Molly, but Imi now is going to see if he can find one of his own, but we'll just see if that's the case. Imi does get one. Let's get another one from there straight afterwards, but there's still one more member in that garage, but isn't going to push out here. But New Dog's already in checkers here. They're going to push straight through. Jenko on his own here on the site, and it's both going around headshot now, but oh, just sadly gets taken down. New Dog again with another 2 kills here. Managed to get 3k before he was put to rest anyway, so 2v2.
Oh, Jenko in on the side. I don't think they were prepared for that at all. Rezu has already started to make his way over towards A on the MP5. Going to try and upgrade to an AK or not, I guess. But, oh, going to go back. There's no time. There's no time. Just like myself, he kind of had noticed that there was no time at all. So I think that rotational play, trying to bait out a little bit his teammate on B, just doesn't really work. As he, yeah, greatest enemy, as always, is the time. And it will be a 5th round for Orgles.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, time wasn't of the essence, and he had a site free there, but it was just a little bit too late for him. And we might as well get at least an AK back anyway. Not sure if it's going to make too much difference here, but of course he'll be the one to hopefully get that opening. But CEX definitely need here. And as you can see now, Rezu is going to see if he can try and get an opening pick around that B side, and we've already got 2 members just waiting around to see exactly what can happen. But the patience so far may work in their favour.
Oh, nice little bit of early damage coming in. They're going to try and make their way in towards the site. Again, a little bit of miscommunication on the buy, and the push not working out very well either. As there will be 2 very quick frags coming in for the CT side. This smoke down on towards, you know, the front of B site just seems to be so very hard to deal with. Cray catches ZNX completely unawares, and Imi in with the final 2 kills. So Orgles starting to really dominate this game, but like I say, seen it time and time again. Whenever they go B, Orgles like to throw that smoke kind of at the close contact point of the B site, so that it makes things very difficult for CEX info-wise, and sometimes there's a player hidden there, sometimes there's 2 players in there, and it does certainly seem to be a bit of a thorn in the side of CEX.
Yeah, they've fallen for that twice in a row now, you know. They drop a smoke from heaven to B door main, and then it's like, yeah, like for example, Jenko or Cray will be on that B site will drop the smoke on the site just to make them feel that there's actually no one there. But they've got away with it twice in a row now. So the executes have been okay. It's just the fact they need to fully be aware of exactly where everyone is and fully check the site before they actually get that bomb down. But I think that last one, they were flashed anyway, so there wasn't really too much they could have done about that. But now, it does seem like New Dog is holding back a little bit around that T-spawn, trying to decide what to do, but I don't look for that BSQ, but Emi does get taken down there straight away, and I think they may have to pull back here to try and reevaluate what they want to do.
Yeah, the difficulty there for Emi, obviously he puts the smoke down on towards the Molotov, which is going to douse that flame, keeps him alive for a little while longer, but it confirms the fact that he's there. That's why you see a lot of players, you know, the Molotov will come down, they'll wait maybe a second or half a second and kind of peek out, try and go for a cheeky frag on the player on the T side who's like, right, I just Molotov there. He's not moved out immediately, so clearly he's not there. That's kind of the way that they like to play it a lot of the time on the CT side of things. But unfortunately for Imi, bit of a misread perhaps. Very well predicted by ZNX to pick up that kill, and now they're going to make their way over towards A. Just Jenko towards the back here, manages to pick up one, not quite the second, but Frazer trying to make his way back in, trying to do a bit more damage for his team, brings it back into a 3-on-3, so definitely doable here for the CT side. They are on relatively low HPs though, and not a great deal of utility to use. Nuke Dog with a bit of an off angle, gets the first, not quite the double spray down, and actually taken down from middle, so still under contention. This next fight so important. CEX come out on top of it, all down to Cray. He's on 40 HP, not a great deal of information to work with as well, and the double peak, perfectly played from CEX. Sure, he picks up a crisp headshot onto ZNX, but Murky is there immediately to trade.
Yeah, I didn't really catch to see if that bomb was planted for A main, but I assume it would have been considered in circumstance of their positioning, but I was a little bit surprised he made that pick, but it depends on the situation really. I suppose he may have got the call and just thought he'll just get a quick peek and actually get him down anyway, which was the case, because Nuke Dog is, I feel like it is one of his best maps seen. I've only seen him play it a couple of times, but always seems to be pretty consistent on it one way or another, depending on which team he actually plays against it. But looking at it so far, they're trying to find a little bit more of info, see if they can find anything. Murky with that AWP to see if anyone is in checkers here, but doesn't find anything yet. But Cray managed to get away from that angle. But Murky's been very patient here just to see if he can find anything. Yeah, hasn't found anything as of yet. We'll get smoked off and we'll pull back here.
Yeah, just has to move away. Not all that much coming from Orgles. Very passive round so far, but as soon as the peak comes in, LS with a nice clean angle onto Frazer, walks straight into his crosshair, takes him down. But Imi trying to trade things back, trying to force the issue, and unfortunately it doesn't work out for him. So 5-on-3. And it seems CEX have got great control this round. This time around, set to avoid the reset, and I think the kind of play that they're going for here is, if they come B, we'll fight them, but if they go A, I think the save will come out from Orgles, and it does look like they're going to go A, so I would imagine another round for CEX momentarily, unless Adam, can he hold it down? Just managed to connect the spray onto the first, but left on 13 HP, and the flank coming in from ZNX in at middle. Catches him completely off guard, so it will be the third round. Damn, that's such a shame. Jenko not surviving with the AWP.
Yeah, you hate to see those kind of plays, really, isn't it? I suppose, especially in their circumstances. It's yeah, it's twice for them now, because that A side not fully contested, but of course Adam was down that highway, but he just wants to see if he can get any other info. But the two rotates they've done the same thing twice in a row, and they've managed to be able to get away with it here. So we'll wait till that next round, but Cray will save that M4. If he can, I'm pretty sure he will do anyway, depending on circumstances, hiding checkers there. But, you know, CX are slowly coming back here. They fixed a lot of their mistakes that they did in the past. Those 2 rounds they did on those B executes earlier, like I mentioned, they were good, but the smokes you spoke about before from Jenko and Cray on site helped them so much and in such a way as well. And Emi there, I was just looking at the stats there, 9-4, so nice little start from him here. But then again, most of the KDs on that side of Orgles is pretty consistent.
Yeah, I mean, get him out of retirement, you know. Needs to get him back to playing. Emi is certainly fragging pretty well so far. We'll see how it goes. I mean, again, the kind of tactical depth of the team play, I feel, and I'm sure a lot of people will preach for, is a little bit more important than your aiming skills. And obviously, Emi has got some big brain plays pretty often. You know, we saw, I think it was maybe round 2 or 3, where it was a pistol. It was a pistol where they, you know, worked off of each other on the site, Cray and he. to pick up 4 kills between them. So pretty nice stuff so far from the big man. Bless him. Only Cray on the M4 at this point in time, though, so not really expecting all that much from Orgles. Everybody else just kind of ecoing it up. The loss bonus stacking up a little bit. I think it'll be the 2400 coming in the next round, so probably going to try and go for a buy here, and Cray, I feel, at this point, with no early action coming his way, should just look to save this M4 again, but not sure he's going to get the option, you know.
Yeah, we'll see if he does get the option. That's not the case. Now, Adam was hiding that A main to hope he can get a cheeky kill from the side, but sadly, he couldn't. Resi does get a little bit of damage on Cray, but Cray does manage to take one before he gets taken down himself, and they've pretty much got a free sight here. All 3 members going around CT, but let's just get taken out, and it's going to take 2 down with him. Will get a 3rd? Maybe? Yes, he will. Yes, he will. So, gets a little 3k to help himself out there. But now CeX, it'll be interesting to see how things go now. Of course, they've done the same thing twice with that B site rotating onto the A side. Pretty much uncontested here, but I'm sure Orgles will be able to fix that during this next round.
There we go then, a little bit closer as we get into the latter stages of this first half. Definitely at one point was looking pretty dire for CEX, but they have recovered it. Slight revitalization. At this point in time, Imi on the orb, going to go for a bit of an early pick. Nice little angle from him, but Murky expecting it. Now it's just Adam to kind of hold things down initially. So blind, and they will eventually deal with him over towards Forklift. So a 5-on-3, and Murky in with another. The 3k so far from him, on for the ace. And Cray, Jenko seems to be the saving brigade so far in these past few rounds. The B hold, pretty solid from Orgles, but CeX have gone, right, let's try A, and it's been doing well for them in the past few rounds. So Orgles need to kind of pick things up. Nuke Dog in with a crisp little headshot onto Cray, and I don't think Jenko is going to be long for this world either, unfortunately. So CeX probably in with the 5th.
Yeah, won't be seeing a lot of day too much longer, but instead I'll say that Resi does get taken down in the end, but finally does get traded off just to ruin their economy just that little bit more. So 6-5 in favour of Orgles so far, and you know, one thing you point out is that A sites, it seems like they struggle to try and hold it at this point. You know, I think in terms of the B site, I'd say overall, CeX have been doing well executing both sides, but B's just been a little bit struggle in terms of getting that bomb down or at least holding it afterwards. But yeah, you're right, this A site's been playing really well for them at this stage, but looks like they're going for maybe quite a quick B here. They're going straight through, no holds barred in. All 5 of them going through. One to go through checkers, but didn't see Cray as he was going through checkers, but finally gets traded there by LS. But Jenko now has managed to get behind him, but Murky, he knows they're falling behind, but will he know if there's a second one? He's going to keep Stumps anyway just to see. You know, does pull by, but Imi does get damaged just that little bit, but they will be waiting for these exits coming through.
Yeah, I think Orgles kind of recognise, you know, we talk about the A site being a point of weakness, so to speak. I think they recognise that, which is why Imi went on the AWP, but unfortunately not quite fast enough to the angle, I think.
Didn't get much of a chance, really.
Yeah,
in all
exactly.
fairness, did Murky just hammered him.
It's kind of a difficult one jumping up on that angle. And yeah, Murky was ready for it. He's popping off right now, to be fair, with this AWP. Some pretty quick frags from him. Adam, however, meanwhile, has managed to pick up a kill with the Deeg and is going to save an AK, so it's going to spare him a bit of cash, and of course that one-tap potential of the AK could always be a bit of a difference maker, but we'll have to see. Here we go though, 6-6. You know, this is generally, we see it time and time again, you know, a team has such a strong lead, the other team will make the comeback, and then as soon as the lead is in contention, the other team that, you know, is previously winning will just pull one out of the bag and start to dominate again. But we'll see, maybe CeX can keep up their solid momentum that they've had in the past few rounds.
Yeah, Murky has been going off a little bit during this game, and it's only during the later stage of rounds now that they've actually been doing some decent work. So it'll be interesting to see how Orgles change things up a little bit. So they do have one higher, one on site at the moment, but we do have Imi who's now going back to that A site. I think I have a feeling that it might go for that rotate round, but nice little warp shot by Jenko on Murky there. So at least that's Murky done and dusted, and there's been a little bit of pain, like I mentioned before, in the last couple of rounds, but Jenko is holding that mid pretty well just to see if anyone's coming through, but see any member of the CeX now aren't looking through at all. But Nuke Dog just have a little look around B to see if he can find anything going here, but Jenko now, he won't realise that ZNX is actually Thank you, man. But Jenko, another shot on Resi there. Resi's not having the best of times here on this map. I feel like T-side on this map is, you know, not one of his strong points, you could say, but Cray managed to trade off eventually, and it's only Newt Dog left standing.
Yeah, bomb out in towards middle. Cray is kind of ready for it. Flash goes in, but Cray's already there. You know, Newt Dog wasn't expecting him to be so far pushed up. Just a positional advantage in the end. And Orgles, like I said, they regain the lead back just as soon as they lose it. CeX kind of stopped in their tracks, unfortunately, as we get into the last couple of rounds. It does kind of depend now. You know, the question is, will it be a 9-6? Will it be an 8-7 kind of situation? You know, it depends on how CeX do in this next round. They're going to go for the straight up B play by the looks of things. Nice little nade, does loads of damage. Wow, Cray going to be happy with that one on the utility damage, and the AWP of Frazer not going to be expected at all. Yet again, the B hit not quite going as planned. They have managed to recover it back though into a 3-on-3. Bomb has yet to cross on towards the site. Still under contention. That default plant going to come in though eventually, and we are going to be ready for it. Some pretty decent post plants from the remaining CeX boys, and the utility comes flying in. That early nade damage. Jenko with the Kobe deep on towards the site. I guess we'll have to kind of call it LeBron now that Kobe, you know, retired a while ago. But 3-on-2, half HPs on the CeX side of things. Going to need one of these players to kind of pop off a little bit, and I don't really see it happening. ZNX, although, does manage to pick up one. Nuke Dog eventually traded out by Jenko, but the timing works out in favor, and the 1-on-2 clutch comes in. A flurry of frags towards the end, but the 8th round picked up by Orgles.
Yeah, they did a huge amount of utility damage right at the start, though, because they did about, I would say, about 120 roughly in terms of damage in that first nade, and then the second one managed to do at least about 60. So, yeah, some decent amount there to start things off. A little bit of a risky play as well, but really paid off, and it would have been a little bit of a pain, but they did so much damage with those nades and then didn't really capitalize on it, but they did. And even with those 2 kills they got by CeX straight afterwards, and in that 1v2 scenario, they still managed to bring that back, and it's going to be a bit of a struggle here. I think Resi obviously smoked off CT when he was on site, but couldn't really get too much going. But Jenko, just have a look around mid to make sure no one is pushing through here. He's just being disciplined to see if no one pops out, but that's not the case. He hasn't really found anyone as of yet. But on the CeX side here, still got quite a fair amount of utility here to play with. That's not looking too bad, so we'll see exactly how things go. But nice little shot there by Jenko. Newt Dog finally gets traded down by Murky. Lovely AWP shot by him.
Yeah, that's such a huge name to take down early on as well, to be fair. Kind of does work out for the T side. They've got a little bit more control over towards middle than they would have had previously. They have to draw a rotation away from that A site. Or Cray with a little bit of an off angle behind the box takes down Rezu relatively easily. He's going to be so frustrated. We talked about him having a bit of a tough game. An angle like that is just kind of, you know, a situation of like, why is he sat there? He's going to be so annoyed.
I know. Yeah, Rezu, it's a shame because he just can't seem to get anything going. I'm sure we could see more of him, but I'm just not sure if Cash is one of his better maps, you could say. It just seems like it's too much of a coincidence. We've seen him twice in a row and it's not been panned out for him, but unless he's been getting the damage dealt but not the kills, that's another story. But Adam's actually in A main here, so if anyone does come round off guard, then he can easily take him out. But one member doesn't go on highway, but Imi does take him out anyway. There is going to be one more coming if he does manage to see, but they do get that bomb down. So Adam managed to get one, managed to get a second of his own now. So nice little 2K from him to finish the job there. And Orgles managed to finish that half 9-6, which is well, it's not too bad, is it, to be fair?
Yeah, I suppose so. They got off to a pretty strong start, to be fair. So CeX, you kind of have to hand it to them. It was a good recovery. It could have been a lot worse. But yeah, certainly good stuff from Orgles towards the end. You know, a little bit unfortunate. In that previous round, they just were not expecting Adam to be in A main, and you know, he is given the opportunity to pop off, to clutch it out, and he does so perfectly. So we'll have to see here. Obviously, the pistol, always a great deal of importance coming into it. CeX will want to get this onto the board, get off to a good start on their CT side. But Orgles, you know, have got a pretty decent opportunity on this T side to get the ball rolling. Like we talked about, the heavy fraggers that they've got, you know, the bigger names, some of them not as, you know, prevalent as others, but I feel Fraz has been having a pretty great game. Jenko as well. They could really start to steamroll this T side.
That's right. A little ballsy play here. You've got a few members of CeX pushing straight through mid. They're going to realise there's absolutely no one there. They've knocked on the door and they've seen absolutely nothing. So if they do manage to get through the site here and Matt's going to execute, it's going to be quite difficult to rotate here. But you never know. CeX could get the better of them coming from behind. They're going to have so many angles here to work on. But they're going to know they're coming from behind. Man's get at least 2 down straight away. So it's going to be 4v3 now for CeX. But at the moment, there's got one person on check who's been a complete pain in the backside. It's now 2v2 and Rezu's trying to fight around that site, but it's only Cray left standing here. And will he be able to take it back? Managed to take out one. It's only Rezu left, but he managed to get the defuse anyway. Gets taken down, but at the end of the day, he gets the job done. So
yeah, crucial
pistol round for them to take.
Well, there you go. It's all about the impact. You might only have 1 kill, but he gets the defuse in. Good stuff.
Doesn't matter. Maybe breadsticking, but as long as he gets that defuse, we don't care, mate. That's
exactly.
This is it for him.
Exactly. This could be the turning point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it could be. So let's see how things go here. So with CeX, we'll go for the M4 and SMGs, and Orgles here. A couple of Khalils, a couple of AKs, and Adam will just be rotating around with that deagle. So to see exactly what is going to happen here, but Orgles are looking to go for that A push, just waiting for that smoke to clear to find any info. But as you can see now, CeX more in favour of holding that B site here. But at least you know Murky, earlier he was in a position to at least rotate around pretty quick, but that's not the case now. But Murky is coming straight round, as well as a couple other members. But New Dog is going to get pushed out just a little bit, and Adam is coming from highway quite clear, so they've got plenty of angles to work on here. Imi gets one, must get a second one of his own, and Jenko's trying to get another one around car here, but it's looking very, very tight. Jenko managed to get one in the end, but nice little shot there. And in the end, Jenko, nice little 3K from him, as well as Imi with the 2.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of argue in a round like that Orgles actually have a little bit of a better buy than CeX, which again, you know, throws up the question of these recent economic changes. Because they got that bomb down in the pistol, and obviously a little bit of boosted cash, you know, they managed to get a pretty solid buyout, and it's kind of difficult for CeX to deal with once they use the early utility. There turns out to not be a lot available. Then it comes down to the initial frags, and Imi picking up the 2K. You know, they're just kind of overwhelmed on that A side. That's nasty from Murky, though. Don't often see CTs taking that fight, as it is pretty difficult. You know, the headshot angle, relatively hard to hit, but scout flick from the man of the hour comes in, and it has been traded back into a 4-on-4, but still looking good for CeX.
Yeah, Murky did a pretty sick job there. I was quite surprised in all fairness. Like you mentioned before, he is playing at a disadvantage, but now we can see exactly what's going to happen. Let's get 2 of his own there. Nice little shots from him, and this could go all wrong for Orgles here, but it's never too late now. One got an M4, one got an AK anyway, but Adam took so much damage there, losing 88 HP. But this is the thing now, do they still want to continue executing to A? But even if they do make that rotate, you've got to remember CeX now just waiting outside A main in case they do push on forward. But Cray has got a little feeling that they might rotate around, come from behind to get that get another flank. But if he pushes out here and loses that fight, then it should be the round for CeX here. So he does have a look. He does get taken down. 3 little AK for Els there, but now he's just going to carry on being a little bit more patient. So managed to get that 2 kills in the end and an AK for himself. So yeah, that's definitely a yikes from me, isn't it?
Yeah, throws the AK away though, and I don't think anyone actually picked it up, so that's a little bit awkward. But yeah, you don't really kind of expect that with the P2K, but again, positional advantage comes in. Great use of the smoke from him. And Orgles just get overwhelmed by the pistols. It's something that we do see time and time again. You know, teams start losing to pistols, they start to panic a little bit, they're not quite able to recover, and it's the chaos that those kind of pistols come out on top of. You know, when they're able to run around, get in your face and surprise you and things like that. They're okay with that. They're okay with that riskier style of play because no one has invested all that much. And it always helps when, you know, someone gets a nice opening frag in the case of Murky in that round. So still on this scout, moving over towards B. Again, a little bit of heavy pressure for CeX at B, and Murky comes in with the scout. The trade has yet to come in from Jenko. The tag actually lands, and glass cannon means that he takes a lot of damage. He's finished off eventually, and Murky putting in the work on the scout in the past few rounds.
Yeah, he needs to calm down, to be fair. Like, you know, it doesn't seem to matter having an AWP or scout. He seems to be doing the job anyway. Rezu, of course, gets one on the board as well. Only 2 members left for Orgles. And Cray and Fraser here trying to work out what to do in terms of their lifespan, but it's not looking too great here. But if I do have that bomb anyway, there's only 2 members from CeX on that site here, and they're deciding whether they should actually try and make that push, but doesn't look the case anyway. Cray gets taken down, and it's only Fraser left standing, and he gets taken down as well on top of that. So CeX slowly coming back here, even after that second force buy. Yeah,
Rezu so far tripling his frags in the second half, so it's going a bit better for him. You know, which is always good if everybody's firing on all cylinders. Very, very important. Oh no.
Getting a few kills is alright, isn't it?
You don't have armor though, mate.
Oh dear, he's a bit stuffed.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. He's got like 3k and he's not realised that he doesn't have armor.
Just tell him it's B52 in the stream. But one does peek out anyway. Jenko jumps straight out, but New Dog managed to take out 2 in the end anyway, but does finally get traded. Rezu takes out Adam as well, but they're still tempted to push out on this site here, and doesn't look like it's going to make too much difference at 2k for ZNX as well. A nice little quick cleanup for them here.
The money-making rounds, the accumulator rounds, I suppose is one way of putting it. You know, you've got to build up the cash. That's certainly what they were doing in that previous round, as you can see. A few players here and there starting to get pretty comfortable. You know, they could possibly lose a round here and still be able to afford to buy up. But the confidence is the thing from CeX. They've really stepped it up in the second half. Their CT half looking a lot better, a lot more dominant early on. And they are winning the rounds quite decisively. You know, it was something maybe in that first half that sure they did manage to get a few more back on the board, but certainly had to work for them. At the moment, Orgles looking a little bit lost. Nuke Dog up on the boost. Do like this from him, not getting too greedy, just playing it for the information. I think they are slightly aware that this could be coming in, but it's a very difficult angle for Jenko to deal with, and the spray lands. Nuke Dog able to get away relatively unscathed. Yet again, the first pick comes in for CeX, followed up very quickly by Murky. As again, Orgles constantly on the back foot in this second half.
Yeah, it seems like Orgles are being caught off guard just that little bit. Some of this aggressive pressure from the CT side from CeX is just basically worked out for him in all fairness. And now Imi's going to see if he can actually make something work here. He's going to go into A main at the moment, but we're going to see exactly how things are going to pan out. Craze around Squeaky to see if he can flash him out and can smoke that cross as well. But that molly will come down and instantly straight away Mercury with that orb. ZNX takes one down for himself, and it's only Cray left standing in Squeaky. There's not really too much he can do here. 35 seconds left. He can run out and basically go on suicide watch and does get taken down anyway. So again, another round for CeX.
Yeah, that is what we call a classic meat grinder. You know, especially that moment when the 2 T-side players walk out of A main and just like that, both of them taken down immediately. So, tactical pause going to be coming in though, as Orgles obviously realising there is something going drastically wrong. They've only picked up 1 round so far on this T half. CeX, like I say, absolutely dominating. You know, that rifle round looked so easy for them. Orgles just trying to play it a little bit, maybe too puggy, a little bit running around, trying to pick up some quick frags, and it's just not working out for them. CeX are consistently getting those early advantages and working them so well.
Yeah, the attack pause makes sense. You know, CeX are basically having a laugh now and just playing with their food a little bit in some ways.
Yeah.
But some of these aggressive plays they made on CTs, you know, it's helping them quite a lot, and Orgles are going to feel a little bit tilted from that. But attack pause here is probably the perfect time for it. I've seen some weird attack pauses. I think last week I saw a attack pause when it was 10-4, and I was like, okay.
Hey, well, you got to try something. You know what I mean? I don't know, 10-5's a little bit less scary than 11-4. The more tilting tack pauses is like when you see it's like 15-1. Yeah, or something. Or it's like the opposite end of things where it's like 15-10, and the team, you know, that's on 15 rounds has been on 15 for like 6 or 7 rounds. It's like, where was your tack pause earlier? You only need 1, and then the other team takes it to overtime or whatever, and it's a bit annoying. You know, flashbacks to Team Liquid up against the LG boys, jumping double from cold, classic. Yeah,
that's definitely right as well, and yeah, it's definitely time for it. I'm not sure how many rounds they've won on the bounce. That's at least 3 or 4, I'd probably say now, in terms of what's been happening. Because I know Orgles took the first one, and then we got forced out straight away afterwards, and then couldn't really capitalise. So it's at least 3 or 4 rounds off the bounce, and kind of makes a little bit of sense. So we're going to see what changes Orgles have made. It's been a little bit of a struggle for them. The A site's been kind of like their nemesis site here in terms of actually trying to push out. Like, New Dog's been doing a good job just trying to hold them off here and there. And just having a quick look at the KDs there, as you could see, not really too much happy. It's just a little bit level across the board. So no one's standing out as of yet. So we're going to see exactly what changes Orgles have potentially made going into this 22nd round.
A little bit of aggression up towards middle. Not expecting too much from this one, to be fair. Again, it's just kind of the upgraded pistols. See it from time to time. Teams trying to take the tac pause sort of preemptively to their gun round. They can talk about tactics a little bit more here, but that kind of does mean this is somewhat of a throwaway round. Again, another easy accumulator round for CEX. Not losing a single player. I mean, barely taking any damage, to be frank. But there you go. Another look at the scoreboard. So much money for CEX, but like you say, other than Rezu, everybody seems to be doing relatively well on the CEX side of things. I don't want to give him too much stick, because to be fair,
it's not mine.
But on the CT side, which is where they're making their comeback, he has, you know, had a fair amount of impact, right? He got that defuse in the pistol, which arguably, you know, was the spark that lit the flame. So
yeah, no, I completely agree. No, it's yeah, because we gave him a little bit of doubt, especially because it seemed like the 2 times I've seen him play, his T-side and catch ain't been the greatest, but as long as his CT side makes up for it, then, you know, surely will do, because he's got that bomb defuse and that pistol round, so even though he was in the best of places, but he's not playing to KD at the end of the day, he's playing to try and win this, and
exactly,
he's trying to make up for it. So, but as you see now, 2 members of Orgles have already been taken down, getting mollied everywhere in left, right and centre. Cray does manage to pick him off. 3v3 now as Orgles enter the site here. Rezu get as much utility out as much as he can, but he's in a great spot here. Managed to see one. Takes out Craven, and only one person left standing, that is Adam, but it doesn't matter anyway. Murky does take him down, and CeX is slowly but surely just going away with this, and it's looking pretty bleak. And even if Orgles do decide to buy here, the utility won't be that great, but it seems like they will be going that SMG rush.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a weird economic situation that they're in. They could possibly have bought up into this one, like you say, but wouldn't have been the best, so they just kind of go for a Mach 10 buy, which is always a bit spicy. But as soon as I call him out, you know, Rezu picks up a 3k and plays brilliantly as the anchor on that B site. Again, it would seem, you know, the cheeky smoke at the front of the site, it is the hardest thing to get around, apparently. Nice little double coming in from Adam, at least going to allow for the bomb plant here, but 1 HP on Fraser, and the Molotov melts down Adam onto 10. I think this is pretty much going to be over at this point in time. The 1-on-3, it would need some kind of a miracle at this point in time as he tries to get aggressive to the smoke. Easily picked up by Nuke Dog, and it will be a 14th round for CEX. So Orgles kind of looking like they need to work on this T side. You know, it is a little bit dire at this point in time. They had that tactical timeout, and it really didn't do all that much for them.
Yeah, they fell for the same mistake they actually did on themselves. So, for example, like, you know, when they were playing on as CT, they always had Jenko or Cray on that site and managed to smoke off and stay on that site without actually being looked upon at all. But Rezu did the exact same thing there and managed to hold that site and managed to get a couple of kills out of it. So he managed to delay things so much that the rotate came in and pretty much cleaned up here. But Rezu, again, with his AWP to see if he does take anyone out around the main, which he does a bit. Jenko has that shot lined up, but can't see him at all through that smoke, and it'll be quite a tough one here as they push.
Yeah, just scoping out the kind of off angles and things underneath the rails in the corner, below the smoke, above the smoke. But like you say, not quite at the perfect angle, so a little bit of a shame. They do get a fair amount of mid control here. It is the passive Astralis setup, I suppose, from CEX. Rezu going to open up over towards B though. Quick work of the lurker. They need to find one in towards A main, but it's Murky here with the AWP as always, holding things down. Nice little play from him, picks up one, doesn't go for the repeat, goes for the safe Molotov, allows the rest of the team to just kind of readjust to what's going on here and retain their man advantage. Does appear that that bomb is going to make its way over towards B. Directly only one player to deal with. There's no smokes available for Orgles to clear him out, so I think sooner rather than later, CEX again going to pick up another round here. Kill comes in for Rezu once again. This flank's going to have to be absolutely huge from Fraser, to be honest. Does manage to take down one. Gets a second, in fact, so maybe it will be, because it's actually now into a 2-on-1. ZNX to try and clutch this through for CEX. Should have been there round earlier on, but Imi in with the third. And the final two players, I'm pretty sure they clutched that one out 4-on-2, but pick up all 5 kills between them.
Yeah, the things they need to do to try and win some of these rounds, it's been a little bit of an ache for them, you could say, but at least they get that one round on the board, because they've won so many rounds off the trot, and it's been very demoralising for them. But finally, they actually get something now. I said before that Orgles is kind of one of those momentum-based teams, and for them to lose so many rounds on the trot, it was looking pretty bleak for them. But at least they've got that one round back now anyway, so we'll have to see exactly how things are going. We've already got a couple of members on that highway there. It's going to rotate back, and Nuke now is just going to see if they go for that A push, and you've got 3 of them in Squeaky. One of them that A main, but you do have Adam looking on that B side, but Stroh's in it, gets 2 of his own. Adam sadly just misses out there, but Jenko does manage to get a kill on Nuke Dog there, as well as Adam getting the trade on LSS. So it's going to be another tough one here, but Murky all left on his Larry now, and it's only so much he can do here. Maybe he could try and get picked to push through here, but it's not looking likely. Yeah,
the AWP on the retake, never really ideal. The one thing that he does have, he's not made any noise so far, so not 100% sure of where he's coming from, but Jenko seems to be kind of inadvertently holding the angle that you would expect him to kind of peek from. Maybe he's trying to go for a cheeky ninja defuse. He's not making a lot of moves, but the barrel comes around the corner. Jenko will take him down. So 12 rounds for Orgles. Still a fair amount of cash for CEX to buy up, so not quite out of the woods yet on that T side. But like you say, momentum-based. That was pretty nice from them, only losing a couple players, and it's almost exactly parallel to the way that CEX played their T side. Go B, don't work out that much, let's go A instead. Oh, this site seems to be a bit more penetrable, and you know, they pick up a few rounds off the back of it.
Yeah, the only difference is now, Stefan, Orgles will always leave that A site bit open, but CEX always have a couple of players there. But Murky, nice little double kill from him there. And even though Jenko gets managed to get traded, Yimi won as well, Rezu's is still sitting there on that B site, waiting for him to push out here. So just barely misses out on the shot. Managed to get one anyway. Gets to trade by Jenko, and now the last man standing here does try and get that bomb down, which he does. Sorry, I say that. He doesn't actually get that bomb down in the end, but yeah, was waiting for him to actually peek out, but it wasn't the case.
I was just sort of a little bit confused as to why, again, they're trying to force this B issue. We'll see. You know, maybe Jenko clutches this one out. Don't write him off just yet. He's been pushed out of position, though, by the Molotov. Misses the first flick. They're encroaching onto his position. Gets the first and the second. Jenko throwing his weapons in celebration. A beautiful little 2K coming in. It did look a little bit dicey. Misses the easy shots, but, of course, it's the hard ones that you always hit.
Yeah, I wish it was like that in my book, but I think he actually got a 4K overall there. So, yeah, fantastic play by him. A great way to actually close that round out. And this is going to give Orgles the opportunity now and that morale boost to try and shape up a bit. You know, it's now CEX who are actually struggling to find an answer to pull him back. But, sadly, Jenko just barely missed that first shot, but it doesn't matter anyway. Cray does manage to take out Rezu. He does manage to get 2 of his own there, but Cray managed to get another one on his own anyway. So, 2 for Cray so far. It's going to be 3v3, but the site's already been taken unless Imi can stop him here. But Murky has come from behind. He's waiting for one more member, but could be a little bit too little too late.
Yeah, this is another round where they're just looking to kind of do damage at the end of the day. No one 100% expects them to win, especially now that this bomb has gone down. Generally speaking, it's pretty much impossible to win a situation like this with the pistols, but they are...
They can make a go of it.
Yeah, let's try.
Win in Rome. But it seems like now, I mean, he's just trying to back him off. He's just going to try and stick around checkers. But, you know, it doesn't matter anyway. He's distracted him enough. Cray managed to finish things off in 14 all here. So, a little bit unexpected considering how well CeX have been playing for the last 6 rounds before Orgles were making his comeback here. But, yeah, Orgles doing some really strong showing and almost potentially put a nail on the coffin here, whoever loses this round.
Yeah, I think so. Especially CEX kind of need to win this one because they're not going to have a great deal of money if they end up losing it. But it is scary how similar these two halves have panned out. at this point in time. Rezu in that off angle. Adam going to come out on top of it though, immediately traded back by Murky. So again, kept interesting. They're a little bit distracted by this though, and kind of left the A bomb site inadvertently open. Nuke Dog tagged down to 13, out in the open. Does manage to take down Imi against all the odds. So into a 4-on-3 in favor of that CT side. Bomb going to go down, however. I did talk about earlier how simple the retake on towards A can be for that CT side. They're low on the Molotovs though, however, so just going to come down to the frags. Great anti-retake smoke, to be fair, from the T side. Again, getting replenished, so they're locked out firmly on the CEX side of things. They're just waiting for someone to peek. Everybody stagnating, not really pushing in, but they've got to move quickly. The bomb is ticking away at this point. Murky misses a shot in towards A. Mate gets taken down by Jenko, and this is going to become very dicey towards the last few seconds. Great angle from Cray, all onto Nuke Dog, and eventually he gets dealt with, and it will be the 15th round for Orgles.
Very tasty. I was going to say, Jenko there was actually planning on mollying the bomb and actually just running away, but of course, Mercury's behind him. That one shot could have actually cost him, and now Jenko managed to get that nice little kill and kind of try and finish things off. The panic button was definitely pressed in the final few seconds there, but it had to be done. And you know, it's like you mentioned before with CEX, it's not going to be the best of buys here. But even if Orgles did lose that round, they can still buy it, but its different utility wouldn't be as great. But we'll have to see what they can do here. All of them straight away pushing straight on that B site. Rezu gets taken down straight away. It's going to be quite a difficult one, but just Adam managed to take things out here. Cray managed to get one of his own. 2k for Cray there, but Newdog just poke out from the molly bay anyway. Crucial kill from there, but I need a 1v1 now. Let's stand. It's Jenko and Nuke Dog here. Probably the two of the guys you want to see
certainly in
this 1v1, but Nuke Dog's only got 18 HP and it's not in the best of spots as well, because even if Jenko just dead the plant, let's see if Jenko actually managed to bait him out here.
Yeah, easier said than done. Gonna go for the solid plant now, as there's not much time remaining, but the flick just comes in at the end, and that low HP, like you say, out in the open, easy enough for Jenko to finish off. 16-14. Little bit heartbreaking there in the end, but always nice to see the exciting Counter-Strike comebacks galore, it would seem.